welcome to You Find a Rock Live. We are going to go on a quest adventuring for rocks, but first, who is it exactly that is going to go adventuring? Can we please introduce our party for the day, starting with Bethany?
Hi, I'm Bethany Brookshire. I'm a science writer at Science News and Science News for Students at BEE Brookshire on Twitter. But today I am Jade Derriere, Dwarven beat poet. So nice you all could make it.
Fantastic. And then Mark.
Hello, I'm Mark Meir. I do voices in video games, but today I am playing the Mad Wizard, October Lovecraft. No relation.
And finally, Trevor.
I'm Trevor Valley. I'm a paleontologist. You can find me on Twitter at Tattoos and Bones. But for tonight, I'm playing Mort. Just Mort. Goliath Rogue. Kinda.
Fantastic. And my name is Mika McKinnon. I am a geophysicist and disaster researcher. Our adventurers are currently off minding their own business, having their ordinary lives, enjoying a beer, tying their shoes, maybe grooming the garden, when they find themselves abruptly transported in front of the Rock Queen. The Rock Queen has provided a mission for us, which, cut to our video here.
Hello, I'm Shale, Queen of the Rocks. I demand from you interesting rocks. You have 1 hour to fulfill this quest. Don't take this opportunity for granted.
Oh, I think I just took 2d8 damage from that pun.
Now I'm trying to come up with things that rhyme with granite. Janet. Granite.
Oh, granite. Got it.
Having encountered Queen Shale several times before, I would say that she is not one to be crossed. She does have an entire army of dragons at her disposal.
Ooh, that's very scary.
Enforce her will. So I am going to recommend that you go questing for rocks. Your current location is her place. You're not going to be able to get any of her rocks, so you need to go somewhere else. Your current options are you can go to a volcano, a cave, or a desert. Where would you like to explore?
Well, my companions, we seem to have no choice. The Rock Queen is not to be trifled with. Even my power pales in comparison to her army of little plush dragons.
So I find I write really my best poetry in caves. Because dwarves, we don't like the light. It isn't right. We prefer night.
I mean, I could, try and steal a rock.
Yes, but there must be rocks for you to steal. I think...
No, I meant one of hers.
Yeah. Well, I think that best not we invoke her wrath. The cave sounds like a good place to start. Caves are made of rock, after all.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
They're made of rock. So you should wear your socks. Because if you hit a rock without your socks... Ow.
Fantastic. It appears that the audience also agrees with you. So you find yourself on a small island near New Zealand and see a collection of little blue penguins poking out of a cave. Do you choose to follow the penguins into the cave or go exploring the beaches?
When in doubt, always follow the penguin.
I like the small fluffy things.
Small fluffy penguin.
Yes. Penguins featured heavily in At the Mountains of Madness. I think we should follow them.
Fantastic. As you enter the cave, you see the walls are covered in glittering crystals and the floor is covered in a white powdery crystal. What would you like to do?
So the crystals on the ground are powdered?
Yeah, they're like a matte white powdery. As you step on them, they kind of dent down into the ground.
I pick some up and I lick it.
Ooh, it tastes really soapy and sour and a little bit like guano. Just the tiniest kind of penguin poop coating.
Wait. How do you know what guano tastes like?
I'm not going to tell that story, all right?
Very well.
Guano
Mort has
is
a great deal of
something
experience with
which should
licking.
not be encountered mano a mano. Is there
So
anything
you're
else that rhymes with guano?
Dungeon Master, may Mort and I be considered to have bardic inspiration because of that excellent poem?
fantastic.
you.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So having that
I'm
bardic
here for you guys.
inspiration, you're looking at this material and wondering if possibly you can do anything else with it besides looking at it, such as, I don't know, throw it in a fire, drop it in some acid.
Yes, yes. I shall attempt to set this aflame
When in
using
doubt.
a firebolt.
When a party is for hire, you should set it on fire.
However, I will make sure to step back and that I'm not standing on any of it in case it all ignites.
And luckily, I'm wearing my sunglasses. They're built-in eye protection.
Oh, you're telling me I should move? Yeah, okay.
It might be a good idea.
Just a little.
Fantastic. All right. So you have you start a camp. You use your fireball onto the powdery.
Oh, not a fireball. This is an enclosed space. I will not be using fireball in an enclosed space. I will use a firebolt.
A firebolt, a little tiny spark of it, and in the area that it hits, it fuses the mineral together, so it gets all melty and kind of gloms together. You're getting the feeling that it might be Tarakanite, the only hydrated phosphate, the first mineral ever found in New Zealand specifically and nowhere else. So you have to decide, do you want to keep exploring it? Is it interesting enough to keep, or is it boring and you should find a different mineral? I will tell you that currently your audience suggests that the glittery rocks may be more interesting than the powdery one.
Well, I want to take
glitter
some of the melty stuff and then maybe
not
lick one of the glittery
gold.
ones.
But stuff that glitters can be sold. And I vote we grab the glitter rock. That is the end of the poem.
You got to lick it first.
Yes, Mort, commence your licking.
You can lick it.
All right. So I take some of the fused powdery stuff since it's only found here. I put that in my pouch and then I go up to the wall and I lick it.
When you attempt to lick the wall, you taste absolutely nothing. It is about as exciting as licking glass. It does not leave any residue of flavor whatsoever.
Very well. I shall investigate the nature of this substance by unleashing Melf's acid arrow.
Ooh, acid is a fantastic choice. The crystal begins bubbling. It effervesces. Little tiny bubbles popping out all over the place. And you realize not only is this like a beautiful glittery crystal, but some of them are these fantastic, perfectly shaped trapezoids that seem to do something strange in the light when they're bubbling away. So
I have a hypothesis.
fantastic.
I have a scientific hypothesis. Is there anything that rhymes with hypothesis?
Hippopotamus.
Yes.
I'm just going to
This
watch the
hypothesis
pretty
is
colors.
about the size of a hippopotamus, but I know a rock that bubbles when you drop acid on it. And it doesn't taste like salt, but it looks like salt because it forms these little crystals when you break it up, but they're not square. And it's used to make coral and some mollusk shells. It is called calcite. Not to be confused with aragonite, which is used to make mother of pearl.
Fantastic. You have definitely found some calcite as well. And that means if you wanted to, you could do some interesting optical tricks with it if you decided to blast it with different types of light. So you've got some taraconite on the ground, the hydrated phosphate clay guano blend, and you've got your glittery calcite on the walls that responds to acid. Do you wish to take either of them? Do you want to keep exploring with them, or do you want to go somewhere else entirely?
Well, how many can we take?
Calcite feels right. Can
Do
we
we
hit
only
it with
take one?
lasers? Can we hit it with lasers?
We can definitely hit it with lasers, and we have not established your carrying capacity, so you'll have to tell me how strong and mighty you are with carrying rocks and how many pockets do you have available. I definitely would say that quantity and quality will both matter for your rock collecting.
Well,
Well-
as it so happens, I have a bag of holding as well as a Heward's handy haversack. However, we must be careful not to place them inside one another, or the space-time continuum will rip apart.
Can't see that
Fantastic.
happen.
And then do you have any capacity of creating a laser to zap the calcite as our beat poet requested?
I'll be honest, my turtleneck doesn't have any pockets.
Well, I am a Goliath, a half giant, and I've got a bunch of bags on me because, kind of like a thiefy guy. So, I can kind of pack mule this stuff if you need.
Well,
Do
excellent.
we
It
have
does
a lightning bolt? What rhymes with bolts?
Well, I have
Not
electricity.
colts.
I have electricity at my disposal.
Yeah.
Lasers. Actually, come to think of it, I am a bit of a planeswalker. I picked this up on an alternate prime material plane. It's a laser gun, I'm told.
Ooh,
Laser gun sounds like fun. That's the
Shall
end of the poem. Can we laser it?
Yes,
Yes.
shall we?
Yes, you can. As you put the laser into the calcite, it shows you double refraction. It splits the beam and polarizes it. You could, if you wanted to, use it to navigate because you could see through the cloudy, overcast skies to where the sun is and find a new location. So you can take both of your rocks and pick a new location if you want to, or we can stay playing with these ones.
Well,
Well,
I
let's-
think
Let's
these are
take a
both quite.
sample of each.
They're quite interesting. I think we should take as much calcite as we can possibly
The
manage.
calcite is right. I don't think we should sit tight.
Yes.
We can use it to find another spot.
All right, so you're going to take them both with you. And now that you've got some navigation tools, you can do a little bit more specific in your destination. Would you like to go to a cobalt mine, a German mountainside, or a Indonesian volcanic island?
I kind of like the idea of smashing some kobolds in a kobold mine.
Yes, the kobold
Yes,
mine.
is that
the
where
kobold.
kobolds hang out? Because, I went to art school with a bunch of kobolds, and they have really good drugs sometimes.
Excellent. So you have now taken both your rock sandals and you are heading off to go find yourself a cobalt mine.
Wait, did you
And
say
some
kobold or
cobalt.
kobold?
Oh, cobalt. I thought you said
cobalt.
kobold.
Oh, cobalt. I
The
thought-
metal, not the small creatures. Although you never know what
Oh.
small creatures you might find inside your mine.
Very well. We're already heading that way.
Yeah,
Let us
why
go to
not?
this Cobalt mine. I'm sorry there's no kobolds, though. They make excellent minions.
I'm already
I just like
jet lagged.
punching.
It's really kind of sad. Let's just keep going.
As you go into the mines, you see a what looks a little bit like a strawberry hard candy or a Jolly Rancher off to the side. It's diamond-shaped, translucent, candy-colored tabs. A couple of them are a bit more peachy. Some of them are slightly light pink, but they're very pretty and very, very shiny, and look just like a hard candy.
All right, Mort, you're always hungry.
Oh yeah. So they look like some of them are kind of like pink and peach, like this. Cool. I lick it.
As you get closer and you notice a smell of garlic, it does not smell at all like you would expect from a candy. Are you sure you wish to lick it?
Garlic candy, kind of like the festival, up in Middle California. Yeah, no, I'm not just gonna. I'm just gonna kind of like roll it around in my mouth. I like the garlic flavor. Goes great.
Yes, yes.
Wait a minute. I know something that tastes like garlic.
Yeah, garlic.
Garlic bread?
No, it's something
Garlic
I
ice cream?
remember from my favorite, most inspirational musical, Chicago. Some guys just can't hold their arsenic.
It turns out you are definitely going to lick this rock. We have severe demands for it. Mort has an entire cheering section of lick, 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 and lunges in, tongue first, gets a good swipe. It's a very metallic flavor, doesn't quite match up with garlic smell, and it is definitely arsenic. It is a very, very soft rock that dissolves easily underneath the tongue. You can lick off pieces of it even. It's like only a hardness of 1 or 2, so you can right off if you wanted to.
I'm not.
Oh, are you one of those guys who can't hold his arsenic? Do you need another drink? The beloved inheritance poison. Have you written your last will and testament yet?
No, okay.
Try eating some more. Maybe if you eat some more.
Yeah, eat some more. Just in case.
Hey, I'm carrying all this stuff for you guys. What, you want me to die? I don't
Oh,
want
don't
to
worry.
eat arse.
Don't worry, I can reanimate you if necessary.
It'll be fine. You're
Ooh.
doing it for art.
Well, how much of this stuff is there?
There are quite a few of these crystals scattered along the walls. They appear to be embedded like little red and pink candy tablets inside of walls that are kind of a grainy white, sandy, not particularly interesting. You can pry some out if you want to. You could try and cut some out. You can keep licking the wall. It's your choice. You're good with it.
Well, I can tell you we should set a timer because if it's arsenic, you're going to start feeling really bad in about 30 minutes.
Well, it's
All right,
only an
well-
hour-long panel, so that's okay.
Yeah.
we should be
Um,
fine. We should be fine.
Yeah, no, so
by
I'll
like 6:45 Eastern.
I'll take a small handful and put it away, maybe to chew on later because of the garlic.
Yes, I will take some as well. I believe that a monarch would have much use for a rock that is poisonous and looks like candy. Could have very good political uses.
Oh, arsenic's poisonous.
Oh, did I say that?
Oh, I have an idea.
Uh-oh.
If there's anything I have, well, I have a hypothesis. And in order to have a hypothesis and test it, I require that we set it on fire. Because I just thought of something.
You want me to set it on fire?
Please let it burn, baby.
Very well, I shall use a burning hand spell. And Discord apparently does not want you to eat anymore, Mort.
Okay.
So as you heat it up, you get the little pieces kind of fall off really easily. The flame is enough to even push them apart, so you have lots of tiny thin bits. And as you try and pick one up, because obviously everyone loves to pick up nice hot crystals, they bend and flex between your fingers like a little tiny sheet of elastic where they just go bendy, bendy, bend.
Well, that's certainly an interesting property. I think we have a winner here.
So we have something with arsenic. And she would probably love arsenic because everybody loves a really good poison.
Yes, it
have
seems like it's a nice hydrated mineral.
Yes, I think this rock spar might be called Rilgar. Or is that how you say it? I've only ever seen it written.
We have not actually found any Railgar yet, but we have found something quite fun. It's etherite, which is a hydrated cobalt arsenic combination. It's quite sectile, so you can slice pieces off of it very, very easily to stick into your bag. So we will be able to collect it quite well. It does mean it's in an oxidization zone of the cobalt mine, so we can go poking around here to see if we can find any other oxidized minerals that have been exposed to the air for quite a while. We can go further down into the mine to see if we can find any other cobalt based minerals, or we can go find a new location.
Well, I think we should leave it to the gods of Discord, because I think we ignored them last time. They wanted
We
us to
didn't
go
go
to
into the mine last time.
Yes,
We should see
yes.
if they want us to go further into the
We
mine.
got hung up on kobolds and
But
kobolds.
if you want to know why arsenic is such a bad idea, I can tell you.
Absolutely. So we're going to leave it up to our Discord folks to decide if we are going deeper into the mine, finding a volcanic island, or heading into the desert. In the meantime, what will happen to Mort if he keeps licking these arsenic-based rocks?
So arsenic will make you feel like hell because it mimics the potassium in your cell. And the potassium is needed to send a signal. And I can't think of anything that rhymes with signal. But potassium is needed to send signals from cell to cell. It's part of the wish and wash of ions that go in and out of a cell's membrane as you send potentials down neurons. So when arsenic mimics that, things get really hairy. You might notice the metallic taste in your mouth, some garlic breath, but by the time you notice the really bad garlic breath, you'll be vomiting too much to care. Then you get nasty things like dizziness and death, seizures, fun stuff.
The fantastic parts of life. Well, it appears that you're being sent to a volcano next. We want to make sure that you have a chance
Yay.
to run for your lives at some point today. Particularly, we're going to send you questing specifically for some Realgar if we can find it, which is an arsenic sulfide. And we'll see what else we can find along the way. So you find yourself at a volcano. It is rumbling up at the top. You're down at the base. You find a volcanic vent. It's got a lot of gases coming out of it. You could, if you felt like it, go sniffing them, or you can keep your distance. Either way, there are lots and lots of crystals right along the edge of the vent, all sorts of different colors and shapes. You can examine them more closely or back off, and then there's always a chance of finding something if you go up or down the volcano.
The last time I huffed fumes in art school, I tried paper mache performance art and it didn't go well.
Perhaps we should avoid these fumes then. I shall use my mage hand spell to retrieve some of these crystals remotely and bring them to us.
Ooh, that's cool.
All right. You find a handful of different minerals you can bring back to you. Some of them are bright yellow little pyramids that look an awful lot like an 8-sided die. They're little die pyramids, so they can go back and forth on either side, bright yellow. There are some that look an awful lot like those licorice candies with the tabs with the dark line through the center and the matte yellowy cream on the outside, and some that are a dark plum red translucent columns that look kind of like candy pops or Jolly Ranchers.
Very well. I shall spread them out, separate them into their constituent parts, and then use a lightning bolt to apply electricity to each of the samples in turn.
I will say that Mort is finding himself drawn towards the vent, wishing to sniff it. Mort, do you have a dice with you?
Yeah, I got a lot.
Could you please roll a d20 for us?
Okay.
And see about how well you can resist the lure of the volcanic vent.
Oh, well, if this is an intelligence check, this is going to suck. Oh, I got an 18.
Ooh, you have managed to successfully realize that maybe you should ask about what sort of materials are in volcanic vents and why it might not be a great idea to huff and puff on various toxic gases and possibly tiny shards of glass.
Yeah, so I don't smell good, but I taste really great. Well, I mean, I smell bad, but no, that's a different... guys, we shouldn't be breathing this, eh?
I mean,
No,
I think this place where we've been sent has some danger in its vents. Nasty gases.
It looks like you have successfully passed your wisdom check to not sniff volcanic gases, at least until next time your audience demands to know whether or not you should. However, you've now got 3 piles of crystals in front of you, all of which look extremely delicious. And I don't think you're going to be able to resist licking at least one of them. So you have a choice, Mort, of which one do you wish to lick? The tiny yellow pyramids, the licorice candy tabs, or the plum translucent Jolly Rancher candy pops.
All right.
Jolly Ranchers.
The last candy I tried in the cave was
I think
poison.
the giant wants to lick the plum.
No. See, the last candy-looking one you said was poison. That's you like. I'm dumb, but I'm not like stupid.
Right.
So I'm not gonna. The yellow one. I mean, if that tastes like lemon, that's gonna be great.
They'll clear out that garlic flavor a
I
little.
want to lick the yellow one.
Okay, as you pull it close to you, it smells like rotten eggs, like just
Ooh.
putrefied, disgusting farts.
Okay, maybe not.
But it feels very interesting in your hands as you've now picked it up from the piles that our wizard has made for you. It feels very resinous and greasy and incredibly lightweight. Like you're shocked at how light this is. And between the smell and the lightness and the bright color, you're realizing you have some sulfur, otherwise known as brimstone.
Ooh, brimstone. Yes.
Hey, you can burn this.
Yes, it is used as a spell component.
And the good news is you're probably not going to die. Sulfur is one of the most abundant minerals in the body, and the worst thing it tends to do to you is cause you some really nasty farts.
Fantastic. So are
I
you
Oh, and the
Sorry.
run. You can get really bad diarrhea if you have too much sulfur.
Yeah, no, I'm putting that down. I got to eat a lot on this thing, I think. All right, so we got the sulfur. Yo, Whiz Guy, you can take that
Very well.
because you can
I'm-
burn stuff.
Yes, I'm going to see how it and the other minerals react to the application of electricity in the form of a lightning bolt.
Okay.
We're zapping things. As you zap the sulfur, it is called brimstone. It glows, and actually some of it starts cracking. So it's a good thing you only hit a couple of the crystals, because some of them are looking a lot less pretty now than they were a few minutes ago. As you hit the licoricey kind of colored tabs, it is very brittle. It cracks into a couple of pieces, and it starts emitting a small little cloud. You could lean in and sniff it if you felt like it. And the dark plum colored ones change color, and they go from a beautiful translucent plum to a kind of opaque brown, orange, yellow that's not very pretty, and is enough to let you know that you've just transformed some Realgar, the arsenic sulfide you were looking for before, into Para-Realgar, which is also arsenic and sulfide, but way less pretty.
I knew it. Last
Very
time
well.
I blew it, but
Dude,
this time we're through it. Real guy.
One got all weird and one dude, you broke them.
Yes, but experimentation is required, Mort. Very well, let us collect the plums. Let's
Okay.
collect the plums. I believe
Plums.
this is what we were looking for.
It's going to have
plums.
more arsenic,
Okay.
and rock queens love arsenic.
Okay.
You're
all the
probably
plums.
going to have to pluck some new ones out from the vent, because
Oh, yes.
you've got your Para-Realgar here. Although you're welcome to also put that in your bag if you'd like.
Not as attractive. I can always make more.
Yeah.
Now then, to fetch this remotely, I
wonder
will.
if we have
I
to
will.
worry about our arsenic and like the acid that you carry with you. If it's like the butt of the bombardier beetle, where if you put the two chemicals together with explosive effects. So maybe store your apparatus in a different bag.
Oh yes, my acid is actually summoned mystically, so I'm not actually carrying acid with me. We should be fine.
Oh my god, my acid is summoned mystically too.
Yes,
It's a lot more
yes.
fun
I have a
though.
guy I call when I need some acid. But listen, I wonder, perhaps we should retrieve this remotely as well. We don't want to get too close to those fumes. So I shall cast Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound and have the spiritual dog collect all the minerals in his mouth and bring them back and drop them off for us.
Your puppy goes forth, your ghost puppy goes forth, and collects a whole bunch of the plum-colored samples and brings them back to you. The dog's slobber does dissolve some of it, and he spits it out, not really
Mystical
enjoying
dog slobber.
But
the
he's just
spicy
made of mystical energy.
taste. It tastes a little bit like rat poison for your poor pup, so he doesn't really want to keep going back and getting more of the Realgar.
It's all right, I assure you, he's not a biological construct.
I thought I was the only one licking things here.
I mean,
Now you got a
what-
dog to do it?
What is
All right.
life?
No, all right.
What
No,
is
I
life?
understand. No, I understand.
We are all constructs of this virtual reality.
So you have collected some of the Realgar. You have a choice between investigating what you know is brimstone and your still mysterious licorice-looking rock that is given out a little bit of gas after you zapped it, or you can head somewhere new.
I want to see the licorice one. Maybe our faithful Mort can lick some licorice. Or should
Maybe
we
like
summon
not,
the mystical
not the
dog?
zapped stuff, because that's all like
No,
smelling?
new licorice. New licorice.
new licorice.
New licorice.
Yeah, I'll give the new licorice a lick. I like
It-
licorice.
It tastes extremely sweet. Your pretty sure it's got lead in it.
Lead. Oh, I know about lead. Would you like to be dead?
Not today.
Oh, I have a poem. I wrote a poem about lead. Are you ready?
Please, please.
Lead is acetate is sweet, but it's not good to eat. That's the poem.
Oh,
Lead
brevity.
acetate in particular is sugar of lead, and Romans actually used to put it in their wine to sweeten their wine, and we all know how that turned out. So
I'm starting to feel like I got kidnapped from a tavern, then taken to Burning Man or something.
did you know that people think that Beethoven died of lead poisoning?
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop licking the black stuff. Got it.
So I have a guess, and I think it might be right because the rock master is kind. I think our lead sweet rock is wolfenite, which contains something called molybdenum, which I cannot pronounce.
Molybdenum. Wolfenite, you say? So if we show this to a wolf, it will lose all of its superpowers.
That sounds about right to me. It is a very brittle, conchoidal rock. So if you smash it, they will have lots of broken pieces that are sharp like glass. But it's kind of a medium hardness to it. So you might need to really work at it to break some chunks of it off. But you are completely right. You do have some wolfenite here growing out of the edge of your volcanic vent. So you can decide if you'd like to continue investigating. You've got your brimstone, you've got your wolfenite. You can investigate, you can take them with you, you can run away to somewhere else.
What
Can
is
you turn
that?
this lead
Molybdenum.
stuff into gold?
Transmute lead to gold. Oh, yes, a simple spell. Polymorph,
think-
true polymorph could take care of that.
Don't you think she would like some gold?
She probably has all the gold she needs.
Yeah,
She's
good
all about rocks.
All right. Well, rocks.
So
gold's a
perhaps
rock.
before we quote our next location, we should make the audience vote on our new destination. Do we stay? Do we go?
Well, we haven't. So we haven't checked the desert.
And you can go to another volcano. You can go to a hot
Volcano.
spring. You can go to a desert.
Ooh.
You can go to a cave. Or you can just wander around a city, see what you can find there. And do you want to take any of these remaining rocks with you? Are the brimstone or the wolfenite sufficiently interesting, or are they just kind of boring?
I feel like brimstone is the sort of thing that wizards should just bring to people, just like as housewarming gifts, you know? Like, hi, thanks for having me for lasagna. Here's your brimstone.
Yes, yes.
I kind of like the idea of a hot spring. You know, we can get a good soak in while we're there.
Hot spring, not a bad idea. Hot
I
spring.
could relax in a hot spring one time.
Should we
before I
take
became
some
a
of these?
poet.
All of them? What do you think?
I was trying to be an Instagram influencer, and I spent a lot of time in hot springs.
So
Well,
it sounds
which-
like you'd like to bring the brimstone with you.
So
My
now
turtleneck is also
I-
a bathing suit.
I think the wolfenite and the plum-colored rock. That was
That was your Realgar? You already stuck it in your bag a little
Let's
earlier.
take the Realgar
Yes.
and the wolfenite. And did we take anything else with us?
No, because
got
then we've got the rotten egg sulfur.
If you're
And
checking
then-
your
Oh, we're
inventory,
taking the brimstone.
Yeah.
if you're checking your inventory, you currently have calcite, taurachanite, Realgar, sulfur, and wolfenite. So you've got a couple of evaporate minerals and a couple of volcanic minerals going on.
We've got a
and
lot of ice. Things seem really bright.
it's very
Maybe we'll
icy.
see the
Seems
light.
like you're being told you're going to either a hot spring or a rock shop.
Yes. Someone has suggested that we just go to a city and purchase all the rocks we need.
Yeah, but
Does
that's not
anybody
fun.
have any money? Because I'm an artiste with an E. So
I
I
could
don't
steal
have
some
any.
money and then use it to buy some rocks.
Aren't
Yeah,
you
that's
like
okay.
10 feet tall?
That too.
How are
He's
you
very
gonna
stealthy.
steal
He's
from
very stealthy. He's very skilled.
Well,
Far be it for me to doubt your skills.
if you knock somebody out and you take their stuff.
I'm just
I mean, there
not
you go.
sure that you're pickpocketing kills.
Well, no.
Well, I think
Get your
that we're
pen.
going to have our wizard here is going to be doing our navigating. So do you have any dice available to you, or should I roll one for you to find out whether or not you can successfully navigate to a city versus a hot spring?
Very well. I have several dice. What dice would you need?
Let's go for a D20. Let's see how you do on navigating using a Iceland spar calcite crystal.
What does a 16 get me?
Oh, I think that you have successfully navigated to the destination you actually wanted to go to, which I believe you said you wanted to go to a hot spring. Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. All right. So you find yourself at a hot spring. It is a hydrothermal area. So you have hot water that comes up, and that hot water changes the rocks nearby. So it's got a lot of altered minerals. And all of that hot water also dissolves rocks. And as it sprays up, the spray will cool down and minerals will come out. So you have lots of crustiness near the hot spring. So lots of teeny tiny crystals of bright colors for the most part that kind of happen in rings around each of the hot springs. So you can
Is it
go
Instagrammable?
Is any of it flammable? Well, there's a lot of water.
Is it Instagrammable?
Oh, Instagrammable.
Ooh, I have to say hot springs are, for the most part, either very, very pretty or very, very boring.
Are there lots of colors in the rings?
Are there couples nearby?
Colors.
No, colors in the rings of the crust that are that's kind of accumulating.
You see one that is like a bright red, very vibrant sort of red going on. And you see some that is, it almost looks like metallic drops of dragon's blood. And you also see a little cluster of what look like crystallized honeycombs.
That's tasty.
Translucent golden hexagonal crystals.
Yeah. Oh, I'm making a beeline for the honeycomb.
Wait, more.
That I'm grabbing and licking.
Okay, maybe that.
Honey, it's honeycomb. I mean, come on.
You dive tongue first at the honeycomb crystal. It is feels kind of resinous under your tongue. It feels a little bit like sap.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit, it's harder than your tongue, but if you nibble a tiny bit, you can bite off pieces of it. Just barely. It kind of scratches your teeth up, but
yeah, all right.
Good enough.
Soft sap, you don't have to mind the gap.
Yeah, and it tastes, it's a combination, it's like a little tinge of zinc and iron with a bit of sulfide in it. So it
not
tastes
bad.
metallic-y.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on pizza, but you guys should try some of this.
And what color is it?
Like a honeycomb. It's like yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, it's like a gold yellow, kind of translucent pale gold.
I feel something about nitrite feels right. Is there nitrogen somewhere in this gold hexagon?
It's pretty much just sulfides with some zinc and iron that's giving it its color, and not much else in the composition of it, which it's a very simple rock, really.
It's delicious.
Can we
Do you want
scratch
to try
it?
picking any of it up? Do you want to explore it anymore?
Can we scratch at it?
So you try scratching it with your fingers. It's a little bit harder than your fingernails are, but softer than your teeth. So Mort will give it a good chew for you. And
I can baby butt it for you if you want.
It actually fluoresces. It glows when you scratch it. It's got some tenebrescence to it.
Glow. I think we should bring one of those.
I'm definitely grabbing some, putting in a pouch, grabbing another small sample to chew on as we walk.
If it's made of zinc, like I think, isn't that one of those things? So everybody thinks that zinc is good for curing the common cold. There's absolutely no evidence of that.
Yeah, but you can rub it on your nose and not get a sunburn.
You can rub it on your nose, but don't eat it without food because the nausea is real, my friends.
Okay.
Ooh.
Always take zinc or Wurtzite on a full stomach.
So you found some Wurtzite. Sounds like you want to pack it up and take it with you. It's this very pretty, it really does look like fossilized honeycombs. So the other interesting looking mineral nearby, you asked for colorful ones. The red, there is metallic drops of dragon's blood is what it looks like. It's little teeny tiny granules, bright red. Some of it almost tinges down into a blood red. There's also a whole bunch of white minerals nearby that all kind of look the same as each other.
I vote for the red.
Yes, let us see how this red material responds to a scorching ray, the application of heat.
Ooh. So as you apply a light to it, which heat is just an infrared light, you end up with bifringence. It splits the beam. So it transmits and splits it into two different pieces.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
Yes, this is an interesting quality. I think that fulfills the parameters set for us by
Can
the Rock
somebody
Queen.
lick it?
I'm what?
Okay. Now, but there's two different samples now after the scorching ray.
No, it is split the beam.
It splits
beam
the
of
light.
light.
beam.
It's
The
like
rock
light
is still
coming out.
there.
So you've got one sample. You've only got one sample. And you pick it up and you lick it. It's got some mercury content to it. Your discerning tongue distinguishes that taste so familiar for anyone who was, I don't know, a hatter and used to lick their paintbrushes.
Yeah, it tastes like childhood.
Let me know if I'm off too far, but I have a thought that it's cinnabar.
You definitely have found some cinnabar, which is a mercury sulfide. It's quite soft, so you can pluck off pieces easily if you want to, and it's tactile, so you can cut pieces if you'd like to. Would you wish to continue munching on it? Do you want to take some with you?
I mean, I like cinnamon, but it's a little
I have
harsh
a
on the
poem about mercury.
Yes.
So cinnabar contains mercury, and it's bad for the system, the nervous system. You don't want to kiss them, the cinnabar. When it affects your brain, your IQ, what you have more, will drain. Your fingers will tingle. I hope you're not single, because once this is done, you will not want to mingle. You're going to get weak in the knee. Your eyes might no longer see. The memory loss is a threat. And the rest, I forget. That's the end of the poem.
Yeah, I'll just put it in the pouch because that all sounds bad.
Now, we have one mineral remaining here, yes?
Yes.
The
So you're
white
packing
stuff.
away your cinnabar into your bag as being interesting, and you have remaining a powdery matte white crystal, very grainy, pretty much everywhere on the ground. Do you wish to investigate it or head somewhere new?
That just looks like salt.
I have some really long experience with white powdered substances, so I'd like to feel it.
As you touch it, it feels quite soapy and slippery underneath your fingertips.
Interesting. I shall summon a small water elemental and apply some of the mineral to it.
Ooh, you have cleaned your water elemental. It is getting kind of bubbly and soapy around the edges. And it seems like your water elemental actually had a bit of contamination in it. Could you please roll a dice for me real fast?
D20?
Yes, indeed.
That is a 12.
It appears that your water elemental had some glue left over in it from last time you summoned it. I'm not quite sure what you were doing.
Oh, we were in a glue factory.
Well, once you've added this mineral to the glue, it turns into a slime monster. It's almost like that goopy, ooblexy sort of stuff where you can pull and squish and almost make
Well, what the heck? I think we made oobleck. That sounds like borax.
Borax, yes, borax. Very
All
good.
right, well, if I know not a lot about non-Newtonian fluids like that, if I hit it really hard, it's going to fragment. But if we play with it, it just kind of goes everywhere. So I'm going to hit it really hard so it doesn't mess with us. And then I'm going to grab some of the borax.
And take it with us, because witches and evil queens like long baths with lots of soap and the blood of virgins. So it'll be useful.
So as you try hitting the borax monster, the slime monster, you just kind of bounce off of it.
Damn it.
But you can very easily hit the borax on the ground. It's very, very soft. It's softer than your fingertips, and it will shatter with conchoidal fracture. So it will break like glass does. Although it does have one tiny cleavage plane, so you can give it nice flat edges. You still have your water elemental being quite upset that it's been turned into borax, has turned against you.
Ooh, I shall banish it. Banish it.
Following after you. You're going to have to get rid of it before you can go anywhere else.
I will attempt to banish it.
It resists banishment. I think you're going to have to come up with some sort of attack.
Sometimes when you make something clean, it gets really mean. This is my bardic inspiration for your something that rhymes with inspiration.
Wait.
Perspiration.
Yes.
It says it's got you. You said that some of the. All right. Water things got glue in it from a factory and it got all sticky. So if we throw a whole bunch of borax at it, do you think it'll get stuck and turn into slime and not mess with us anymore?
Well,
You
it's
could
worth a
just-
try.
Adding more and more borax, it gets into a stiffer slime, which is a bit of a problem because now it when it hits, instead of being like getting hit with a wet noodle, is now being like hit with a stiff noodle.
Ah, damn it.
So that
I shall-
required a small bit.
I think
I
what
shall
we need out
cast,
of here is a fling. Someone should throw it into the hot spring.
Ooh, yes, yes.
It won't
I
be me because my arms are too weak for that.
Okay, well, I mean, if it's getting more solid instead of water, I'm going to pick them up and throw them into the water.
Well, it's now been a half hour since you were licking arsenic, so you're starting to feel the after effects of that.
Oh, damn it.
You're slightly distracted at the moment by noticing like clumps of hair coming out.
You're feeling very dizzy, but your skin looks really clear.
Very well. I'm going to attempt to put this monster into stasis by freezing it solid with a ray of frost.
Woo, that works fantastically well. It is now frozen and frozen in place. Do you wish to do anything else to it or run as fast as you can?
Should we yeet it into the pond?
You can
Put it into the pond.
many things to it. You've got a borax slime monster. Borax slime has very interesting properties from anybody who's played with it as a small child. Only some of which you can do at home. Others slightly more dangerous to do at home. But you have revitalization spells, right?
Yes, yes. Let's say we do. I'm sure I have a healing potion somewhere.
Hey, can I,
Somewhere.
like, maybe, the whole poison thing?
Oh, yes. It will restore your hit points, but I think we're going to need to find you a good cleric.
Oh, if you're dealing with heavy metal poisoning, the thing that you need is chelation therapy.
What?
Chelation therapy is unfortunately sometimes interpreted as a treatment for autism. It is not. Do not do that.
Okay.
Do not do that.
Okay.
Anyway, chelation is very useful for heavy metal poisoning. What they do is they inject something called EDTA, and it binds heavy metals and helps them actually get extracted from the body. It's very useful for things like lead, arsenic, some of the heavier metals, uranium.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Very
that's
well.
hot.
We shall
that's
try to
some
find.
really heavy metal.
We shall try to find such a facility to aid our friend Mort. But in the meantime, I think you should yeet this thing into the hot springs.
All right.
All right, just
You
eat it.
Successfully throw your former water elemental contaminated with glue and borax, turned
Bye,
into
Sparky.
a slime monster and then frozen solid, has been thrown into the hot spring where it is very hot and quickly dissolves, and the solution to pollution is dilution. No, it's not. But it does successfully spread out your monster and break it into constituent pieces to later become a new mineral. Do you wish to pick up any of the borax before you go seeking a healer?
You know,
Uh,
you could use some soap. You could use some soap, Mort. I'm not going to lie.
We're going to collect
okay.
the borax, add it into the collection, and go forth. It sounds like you're heading maybe, do you wish to go to, I don't know, we could go to Germany, we could go to a desert, or we could try hunting for a healer inside of a volcano, or we can go to a blue schist metamorphic zone. So
Oh,
somewhere
you weren't supposed to cuss on this channel. You just said schist.
blue schist.
That's not nice.
So you could go to
What did I ever do to
the
you?
ocean floor. Any of these places could have a healer to deal with your chelation therapy and help out poor Mort survive the remaining 20 minutes before your quest is due.
Well, Germany, they have doctors and they got beer. So,
Yes, Germany has a very, very good medical system, as
Germany
far as I know.
sounds like a good
Germany?
situation.
we
All
do
right,
like,
I'm like a
brats and
dwarf
pretzels and
vegan,
beer
so
and,
the only thing I actually eat is beer, but that's fine. Beer
There
and
we
clove
go.
cigarettes. It's been great for the past 300 years or so.
Yes, Germany, I think, seems to be, unless we have an opposing view from the gods of discord, Germany.
You're being sent to Germany. So you have picked up some cinnabar and some borax at this location. You head out to Germany, you find a healer, and you give them big, huge puppy eyes until they're willing to assist. And the
I paid for it with my
Puppy eyes?
poetry.
I just intimidate him. I just go, heal me, damn it.
No, I paid for it with my poetry. Like, art should not be subject to the forces of capitalism, but I'm prepared to sell a deep piece of performance art for your sake, Mort. You're welcome.
succeeds, and you've managed to cure Mort of the ill effects of both the arsenic and the lead that he has previously consumed.
yeah.
The mercury is still a little bit of an issue,
Eh.
but there wasn't that much.
I mean, it's better than
Mercury.
Venus and,
And he won't
Mars.
feel the effects for another, 20 or 30 years. It'll be fine.
Nah, I won't live that long.
Exactly.
And,
Long-term issues.
I shall pay the healer for his services with the aforementioned puppy eyes. I have a bag of them.
Excellent. Fantastic. Do you wish to look around for any crystals while you're here, or do you wish to continue on to a desert, a volcano, or a cave?
We have not visited a desert yet, have we?
No.
No, we haven't. Well, at least not since the last time I was at Burning Man. I was very appreciated.
Well, I mean, is the cleric one of those clerics that heals with crystals, or is it actually a divine Spock?
Well, if you look outside the cleric's hut, you do see a small collection of cubical dark purple crystals.
Woo!
Let us
Purple.
investigate.
I like purple.
As you pick it up, you notice it has the strongest smell of any mineral you have ever encountered in your entire life. It reeks of chlorine and ozone, just
Never mind.
overwhelmingly.
That seems like a bad idea.
All right, no sniffing the cubes, man.
Very well, very well.
Okay, well, I don't recommend turning chlorine into a gas in any form. So we don't want to burn it. We should probably try to zap it.
A little electricity then?
It starts glowing.
Ooh.
As you
Yay.
zap it, it glows and fluoresces at you. It looks exactly like fluorite in every way, except for it's dark purple, and it's incredibly stinky.
Of chlorine. What
It's-
happens if we drop it in alcohol? We have
If-
beer, right? We're in Germany.
Yeah, you've got plenty of beer. So it is, you don't actually have any liquid beer at the moment. You do have some alcohol vapor, though. It turns out any liquid alcohol seems to disappear if it's near Mort for too long.
Sorry.
So you have some alcohol vapor, and as you drop this extremely stinky, bright purple cubical, not quite fluorite, into it, you see the alcohol vapors have curving traces on it, as though a radioactive particle is zipping through. Lots of alpha particle radiation coming off of this thing.
Wait, I've got the one item that can help us on this. I recognize that. And I reach down and I grab my Geiger counter
Ooh, very nice.
and I
I
set
love
it.
it.
I set it to 100 clicks a minute and I scan it.
Whoa, you discover it is definitely radioactive. You're pretty sure that the traces of uranium inside of this mineral are what gives it its purple color, but otherwise that it is bare fluorine, the only bare fluorine ever anywhere in the naturally occurring world. And it keeps singeing your nostrils anytime you get too close to it.
So once I have treated you all to a one-woman performance art piece of Daft Punk's rendition of Radioactive with Sterling, the violin lady. Yes, it was very good. My one-woman show, highly well received. I'm here till Thursday, try the veal. But I have a hypothesis that I think is right. I think we are looking at something called antozanite. Antozanite.
Yeah, no, I'm
It
getting.
is-
I'm
It is
getting
very radioactive.
You have found some sync spar. And with that, your time is up. You have found yourself back in front of the queen, and you
Can we take the radioactive rock with us?
Yeah, no, take it all.
We take the rock. We take it.
some to present to your queen. You have some sulfur brimstone. You have some hydrated fluoride terraconite. You have some bare fluorine stink spar antizanite. You have some soapy borax. You have the metallic red dragon's blood of cinnabar. You have the pale gold honeycombs of wurtzite. You have the lead wolfenite. You have the arsenic rich realgar, and you have some acid reactive Iceland spar, also known as calcite. I believe our queen is extremely happy with you. Let's
Yay.
check in with her.
We did so.
Geode Almighty! Such gems! The quartz is clearly with you. Take your reward.
Excellent. It appears your reward is that you get to not only keep some of the minerals, while you're giving the vast majority to her, but the dragons are not going to eat you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for your fantastic adventuring. Congratulations on surviving.
you know, not being eaten by dragons is sometimes the greatest gift of all.
I'm totally taking the fluorine.
I would like the wurtzite.
Brimstone.
The
for me.
honeycomb stuff. Oh, it tastes great.
It's pretty.
I collect radioactive materials and specimens. I think that's what has wrong with my head. But yeah.
Long-term radiation has a lot of problems. You might want to get your DNA checked in like 10 years.
Nah.
It'll be fine. And that was You Find a Rock Live for DragonCon on Science Track. Thank you all very much for joining us. You can find all of us on Twitter. You can see our Twitter handles on there. And of course, DragonCon is continuing all weekend long with even more events happening on the Science Track and elsewhere. And I know all of us have been participating in other places. So if you've missed our other panels, you can find them inside of the DragonCon archives as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mika.